Hey everyone, welcome to the March Equinox pick a card reading. And of course, in the northern hemisphere, it's going to be the spring equinox. In the southern hemisphere, it'll be the fall equinox. And also March 20th, which is when that equinox happens, is going to be the astrological new year. We've gone through all of the zodiac signs. We're leaving Pisces and starting over back in Aries. So happy Aries season as well. I'll have another special video for that. That will also be coming out, of course. Now the equinox, the solstices, we are either kind of pointing away from the sun or pointing toward the sun. And that's where we have winter and, of course, summer in the different hemispheres. But now we are kind of more where the sun is on the equator, which is going to be represented with this beautiful balancing that is coming in, this equalizing, where days and nights are equal-ish compared to winter and summer, of course. So the sun can seem like it's right above the equator during that time. And again, it's this balancing where we're not tilted in one direction or the other. So this reading is going to be about, springtime is about birthing, fall time or autumn is about harvesting, things are coming to fruition. And so you're going to have a choice of 3 different pick-a-cards. The first one is going to be the caterpillar being born or the butterfly coming to fruition. Number 2 is going to be the little seedling that does grow up into a fruit tree. And then we've got like the baby or the calf or the fawn that turns and grows into the adult, into the stag. So you have choices of 1, 2, or 3. I'm going to start with number 1. All the others have the timestamp in the description box below. So if you want to jump to one of those other ones, you can do that. Otherwise, we're going to start with number 1. All right, my Scorpio, if you chose reading number 1, which is the caterpillar to the butterfly, then this is the reading for you. And we're going to start off by pulling a card here from the Into the Lonely Woods Oracle. And this is just going to represent 1/2 of the scale on what's going to be balancing for you over this next 3 months during this equinox. So let me just one more time here. All right. So for our Scorpios who chose reading number 1, what would you like them to know, please? Okay, I do want that one. And you have from the below to the above. What a beautiful little card here. As above, so below. And as below, so above. Love that saying. And we'll take a look here and see what message comes with this specifically from the author. And it says, it's time to shift your gaze from the path below to what is above you. For it is to these higher places you will journey to next. You will always have your feet on the earth, but for now you must lift your spirits by looking up and seeing the tops of trees. Learn what lies upon the next mountain. Discover the source that is the light that comes from the east at dawn. It is to the higher places, the higher thoughts, the higher self that you must turn. For when you do so, the gift you hold within you will find exactly the right time, exactly the right place to be offered, and finally be fully held and appreciated. That is so perfect for you, Scorpios especially, but because this is the caterpillar to the butterfly, that is the caterpillar which moves along the ground and it moves to higher places after it goes through its little cocoon and the transformation it goes through. And you, Scorpios, are the masters of transformation of the zodiac because you transform from a scorpion to a snake, and the snake still needs to be respected, but it sheds its skin. It can still strike, like the scorpion strikes when it gets feels defensive and attacked. The snake does as well, but it goes through the growth and it sheds its skin. Then you transform even higher to an eagle that flies in the sky, and you can fly above the storms and fly above all the drama and swoop down when there's something that you care about that you want to swoop down and protect, but you can just fast swoop back up to the high area, the high places. And finally you transform from the eagle into a phoenix. And so you have this beautiful transformation that's just screaming your scorpion energy. And well, I want to see what's on this other side of this scale for this balancing during this time. And we're going to, for this, pull from these earth magic oracle cards and see what's on the other side of the scale. And one more time. All right, so for our Scorpios, that shows reading number 1. Actually, they want that one right there. Yeah, Green Man Synergy. Another beautiful card there. I love the green heart chakra energy. And let me just see what the Green Man brings you on this side of the scale. So Green Man is Earth's vegetation personified. Although he has many variations, this card depicts a more subtle and embedded representation. In other portrayals, he resembles the face of a man covered in green foliage as branches and vines sprout from every direction. There exists some form of Green Man throughout history and in a myriad of cultures throughout the world, often a symbol for the rebirth of life in springtime or the equinox. He's also been associated with the Lord of the Wildwood. As a representative of the plant kingdom, Green Man reminds us of the incredible synergy required for Gaia to maintain her delicate and dynamic balance among the various beings on the planet. Synergy is the interaction and cooperation of two or more elements that produce a combined effect greater than the sum of their separate efforts. We witness this in the complex and cooperative interaction between plants, humans, and animals. For instance, fruit trees propagate by being eaten by an animal and then deposits it back into the earth after digestion. As a new plant grows, bees pollinate the flowers, and the cycle begins once again in nature's simple yet remarkable synergy. And so there is this, I don't want to say dependency, but there's this interdependency that is being represented here, and the purpose of it's like you have a purpose and you're part of the plan. And I feel like the balancing that happens here, for you to be able to connect to your higher self, to look higher and have that connection, the work that you're doing on your heart chakra with understanding your worth. Basically, I feel like this is very much Pentacles energy, the earth energy. Of course, Green Man is. And so it's very much Gaia, very much how you view yourself. And if you are feeling low about yourself and you have you're putting a low worth on yourself, what happens is you don't feel you're worthy to connect to higher places. You don't feel like the creator, spirit, guardian angel, angels, spirit guides, loved ones on the other side, ancestors, all those powerful, supernatural, eternal spirit beings made of unconditional love on the other side. If you don't feel like worthy, if you can't look yourself in the eye in the mirror and go, you're beautiful, you are amazing, I love you, then you can't look into the face of the creator and think that they would want to see you, right? Because you don't want to see yourself. So this transformation that's been going on for quite a while, and obviously you've made progress from the scorpion to the snake, and you've been shedding skin, and you're moving into that eagle, and in fact a lot of you already are in the eagle, and this feels like the phoenix rising to the higher places, rebirth that's happening here too. So I love this. So this is all about digging into your worth and how you feel about yourself, which allows you then to kind of, I almost feel like it's like this, All right, yeah, like this, and your worth, you're able to jump up, and then that catapults you to the heavens. You know how you see that in the circus where they'll jump and the other person goes flying in the air. That's what I feel like with this, is what they're showing me. And we're of course going to dig in more further in here, and we're going to pull from the Black Tarot here, and this is going to be messages from your shadow. And your shadow is your companion. It is your tour guide on this little wonderful adventure in the human experience. And what's beautiful is the shadow is a part of us, and it is able to bring to us information that is in our subconscious, that's below the surface, like down here, like if this is your conscious things that you're aware of, down here underneath the surface are all these other things that are going on down there, cycles and things that are impacting our human experience. We just don't realize it because it's not in our face. It's in, under the surface and our subconscious behind the scenes. But our shadow is the master game player for this entire game because he's our tour guide. So he knows the map very well. And this is going to be the messages, the truths, information that they want to bring to you regarding this balancing and this transformation during this equinox period. No, they don't want all those. Okay, there we go. So for all of our Scorpios, I'm not even able to talk and they're all flying out here. So these are all for our Scorpios that chose reading number 1. Anything else? Shadow, shadow, shadow. They're excited to talk. So that is great. All right. And so you do have the 4 of Swords. The 4 of Swords. Swords are your thoughts, your beliefs, your mindsets, your attitudes, your expectations. And the 4 of Swords really represents kind of like peace of mind. Because the 3 of Swords right before this is expectations. It's the heartbreak. It's the disappointment. In fact, normally in the standard tarot, you'd see 3 of the Swords up top, and they're laying down, resting on the Ace of Swords. And what the Ace of Swords does, what this 4 of Swords is bringing you with that stability, that peace of mind, that stable mind, is that Ace of Swords, which connects you to the higher truths, allows you to see beyond all of the human side of things, the expectations of the supposed to be's, the should be's, the need to be's, the have to be's, the musts, all those things that are rooted in fear, that all those popular opinions we had from the outside that we took on as our truths, our small t truths, and we've been trying to make those happen and trying to obey those, but those are what are bringing this low self-worth in for all of us, for all humans, because our human ego side, to keep us in this game of this world, it will keep whispering to us, going, look, you failed. Look, you're not meeting up to their expectations. Wow, look at what that happened. You didn't do that right. It's constantly contrasting and comparing us to everything around. And that keeps our energy at a low vibration. That fear energy keeps us planted on the caterpillar crawling along the ground, right? Sorry, I didn't mean to shake the camera there. Yeah, it's like earthquake, right? And so this capital T truths help you connect higher. It helps you get into the core of what's really living down here in our deep emotions, which when we go deep dive enough, you find this bright, bright pearl that's down there. It's beautiful and bright because it is our higher self. It's the love that we really have that is for us, which is the unconditional love of the creator of all things on the other side. That is our core of our worth. And so this peace of mind comes as you connect to that Ace of Swords, to those higher truths. It allows you to cut away the small t truths that have been accusing you. It's almost like your ego takes you into court and it's the prosecutor and it's all blah, 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 blah. Look what they did. And then, but the unconditional love is what sets you free, because it goes, well, actually, this is the truth. Here's the evidence. And they're like, well, oh, okay, well, how about this then? And you're like, well, no, how about this? And they're like, oh, okay. And it starts to whittle away the defense or the accusations that the ego has against your worth and who you are. So that's beautiful. That's all that's underneath here that's kind of driving this for you. Yeah. And speaking of judgment, dun, 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 which is great because this card actually doesn't mean, that judgment. The judgment card is card number 20, which when you add 2 plus 0 together, you get 2. This is all about recognizing the two of you. Normally they would have like people down here in their coffins that are waking up and a big angel up here with a horn waking them up. And that actually represents your higher self and your human self, a lot like we're talking about here, right? Like this is your lower self looking up to your higher self, which this seems smaller, but it's just because it's farther away and this is close to the camera, right? So this is about getting to know the two of you and this awakening that's happening exactly as it's talking about. And I actually, I have this down in the description box below, and I'll also link it at the end. There's this playlist of these new videos that they're having me put out that started at the beginning of this year called U times 2. And those video series is really all about this. It's really about, in 2022, it's about discovering the two of you that are living this human experience, that human part of us that is rooted in the fight or flight and in the world of fear, and our higher self, that powerful, supernatural, eternal spirit being made of unconditional love. And it talks about how there you can discover the two of you that are living it. It doesn't mean that you have to be battling. A lot of times spirituality says you must kill your ego and your shadow and all that, and it's like, no, that's a piece of us. We're not going to kill a piece of us because it's just hungry. It's hungry for what this world cannot give it because it's searching for unconditional love. And our higher self and that spiritual realm is all made of unconditional love, so it can walk hand in hand with our shadow and our sunny, bright self, and it can walk together on this journey. And that's where you're at right now, is this waking up, is moving it to another level than you've ever been at before. And then you have the 8 of Spheres. Okay. So this would be the 8 of Pentacles, and this is exactly what I was just saying. The 8 of Pentacles is like moving to the next level, which is consider this like you're an apprentice for a blacksmith and they're the master blacksmith, right? And you've been doing all the work, putting in everything in and and doing all that. But you fine-tuned it now and you're ready to become a master blacksmith yourself, and you're ready to move to this new place and make it your own. But this is all about like graduating, moving to the next level, moving to a different phase in your life. And the Pentacles is your outside world, which we talked about with this energy here. It is time for you to step into this new place in your life, this new wisdom, this new information, these capital T truths that are going to take you to a place that you've never been before in this lifetime. So love, love, love it. Yeah, because you have an 8 and you have another 8 of Cups. Cups are your emotions, and this is about moving to this next level in your emotional state too, because with this knowledge and this information, and especially with connecting to that unconditional love, you are ready to leave behind those emotions that are no longer serving you. They've served you to have this experience of feeling low and having this wonderful adventure of what it might feel like to be small and incomplete, and just all those delicious things that you've been accused of by your ego. You're ready to move beyond it. And so all of this is pushing this energy into your human consciousness so that we can move forward. We can move to this next level here. And then we're going to pull cards here from the Naked Heart Tarot, which are going to be messages from up above. It's going to be from the higher realm, what messages they have for you for this period of time. Let's give these a shuffle. So it's all the posse of beings on the other side. Like I talked about, your guardian angel, your angels, loved ones on the other side, your ancestors, any beings of unconditional love and light that you believe in, of course, creator and spirit, Can't forget them. They are the main big kahunas, right? They're the ones that bring us the most. So, all right. So for all of our Scorpios that chose reading number 1, what would you like them to know, please? Okay. So they do want that one, and these two, and these two. So you start off with the 7 of Wands, and Wands, did we talk about Wands? I don't think we talked about Wands as your drive, your ambition, your aha inspiration, your spiritual energy, and your energy in general. So it's like, a magic wand. It's the oomph, it's the intention, it's all that flows in there. And the 7s, obviously here you're all 7s represent this awareness around defensiveness. And what I love is because we're talking about the defense and the prosecution and everything. And usually you'll see like someone that's standing up on a hill, other wands are trying to attack the person, which is you, with your wand on the top hill. And it's like this message that you don't have to be defensive. You don't have to defend yourself, because you have the higher ground. You have this higher place up here, like in that picture. And that's the best place to be in a battle, because the person on the higher ground can defend themselves very easily. And it's almost to the point of like, I don't even have to defend it. You can't get up here. It's like in this picture here. If someone was, kind of disregard that for a moment. If someone was down here going, I'm going to get you. And you're like, sure, go ahead. You're up here going, yeah, okay. You don't even feel this threat anymore. And so this is that energy that they're letting you know, this confidence that's coming in, that you don't have to worry. You don't have to get all cattywampus and hiss at people. And you don't have to worry about, defending yourself and having any of that happen, which is what they're bringing you to, because they're allowing you to experience this and come out of this low self-esteem and see how important you are, how your breath, your very breath, is part of keeping this planet alive. Then you have the Heart of Wands. So this would be the Queen of Wands in the Standard Tarot, but here's more Wands energy. And this is really great because not only is this a very confident person, which I was just talking about here, she's able to really zero in and focus her energy into things and make stuff happen. But she also, in addition to her fire energy that she has because of the Suit of Wands, all the queens, all the hearts also have water energy. And what that does, usually there'll be like a black cat on her card, whereas there's like a lizard on the other royalty of the wands. And that represents that she doesn't feel like she's taking a risk. She doesn't feel like there's any danger because she's connected to the higher realms. That water energy, and with the spiritual energy that she has, she develops this trust where it'd be like us walking in a maze, and there are high walls where we can't see over them and we can't climb over them. So we just know we can only see in front of us and behind us and to our sides. And the walls are to our sides, and there's just, to the back, we know where we were at, but we don't know. We reach a point and I go, do I go left or do I go right? Because I'm at a dead end. I have to go either way. I don't know. What risk am I going to take? And it's like, oh, hey, and it goes to the eye in the sky that sees and goes, oh yeah, just take a right. And she trusts it because they're in the sky and she knows they see the entire maze. And so she takes a right. And people are like, oh, aren't you afraid to take a right? Aren't you feel like you're taking a risk? She's like, no, I trust them. You've developed this relationship with the higher realm where you don't feel like you're taking a risk because you trust them. They've never let you down and they never will. And so it's developing that relationship with the higher realm, with your higher self. And then you have the Six of Swords, which is so perfect in combination with this Four of Swords, because the swords were your thoughts and your beliefs and mentalities, and this is about movement of thought. You're leaving old thoughts behind that no longer serve you and moving into those other thoughts. So there is this movement, and so they're just basically reiterating that this is exactly what's happening. This is the direction that you're headed, and you have the power to change those thoughts and those beliefs that no longer serve you and move forward. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And then you have the Three of Wands. So all this beautiful energy that you have going on. And the Three of Wands is about changing direction. It's about the Ace of Wands would be like this new passion, this new drive, this new excitement for something. And the Two of Wands would be like you're planning and taking a couple steps towards something. And the Three of Wands is like, you have new information. You have this new thoughts, these higher thoughts and these higher beliefs. And you're like, you were headed this direction with all the information you had. And you're like, well, now that I have this new information, I'm going to change course and go this way instead. So there is this support in moving and changing directions in your life based with this new information, this new confidence that's coming, this new understanding and trust in developing this relationship with your higher self and knowing who you are. I don't want to see what this one is. I wanted to over here above your little journey. Yeah. Well, there you go. This is so perfect because this, don't be afraid of this, because basically the story of the Tower starts off with the Wheel of Fortune. Actually, from what Spirit explained the card to me, was the Wheel of Fortune represents your higher self before it came down here, decided what it wanted to accomplish, right? It knew when it was going to come down and when it was going to leave, when it was going to enter the game and when it's going to leave this game. It chose the avatar that was going to represent it, which is your human self. That's who they're going to walk around through and experience this experience through. It also chose all these fated events that it wanted to have come into its life. But what's great is that within each of those fated events, you still have the power to choose what story you apply to that, which would be the small t truths, right? We're told when that happens, this is what it means. The other thing is that you get to choose what you feel in any of those fated situations, right? Again, those popular opinions. When that happens, this is how you're supposed to feel. And so we have all this, we don't realize we're making a choice because we were conditioned so much when we were younger that when something happens, we immediately apply the story. Something happens, we immediately feel this way because it was taught us and reinforced over and over to where it became our habit and then it became our reaction. But if we take a big pause and take a lot of deep breaths, we can see that we can make a different choice on what story we apply to any situation and what emotion we want to feel through that. So there's this beautiful, powerfulness, this empowerment that happens through that experience, and we realize that life happens for us. It doesn't happen to us. And that kind of lifts us up, right? You're like, wow, I'm no longer this victim of life. I'm a victor of life because my life is happening for me. All this stuff is unfolding for my benefit, which is awesome, right? And then the Tower comes in, is that the Tower is one of these events, one of these fated events that's in our life. Either it's a relationship of some kind, whether it's romantic, friends, family, whatever, or a situation like education, job, some sort of circumstance that we're in, or things like, our possessions, our bank account, our bodies. And so one of those things is in our life, but in order for us to experience the next fated event, this one needs to be pushed out of the picture. And that's what happens with this Tower. It comes down and it gets struck and it burns down and it's drug away to allow us to move into our next area. So this is this message letting you know, one, that everything that happens in your life is happening for you, including when things get removed and anything that gets brought into your life too. And it happens on purpose for a purpose. And so during this equinox, as things fall away from you, just know that it's happening for a purpose, and that can help you not feel like you're being punished somehow, or it doesn't need to impact your worth, because instead of something happening meaning that you're worth less, something happening in your life, you get to have that power of choice and look at it and going, oh, look, that's happening for me. Like, people might think you're crazy, you know, like, oh, I lost my job. And they're like, oh, I'm so sorry. No, it's great. And they're like, what? Yeah, now I'm going to go do what I want to do. I was, felt like I was afraid to leave that job, and I was unhappy in it, and I really want to do this, and I wouldn't leave it because I was like afraid. But now they broke up with me, or if it's a relationship where someone, breaks up with you, you're like, yep, it wasn't the healthiest, and I learned what I needed to learn, and I'm ready to go. But I didn't want to be the one to break up, and so they did it for me. That's like a job too, right? So beautiful, beautiful information coming here for you. And then lastly, we're going to pull a card here, at least one, from this Divine Directions. This is just going to represent the final message that the Creator has for all you Scorpios that chose reading number 1. So what's your... Okay, they want those two. What else? Or anything else. Nope, not all those. Okay. Okay, that one. And final pass. Whoops. Any others? Oh, I guess this one did flip over. Thought there was another one. All right, well, we'll start off with that one since it made itself known. And you've got heal. You have a natural gift for healing through your hands, your words, or actions. So this is getting in tune. I'm going to put this over here because I really feel like this is healing you have the ability to heal your own wounds, to heal your own wounded worth, of yourself, your self-worth. And you are really going through this beautiful understanding. And I love, it's like really grasping, especially all this green healing energy. You do have a natural gift for healing, either through your hands, your words, however you are, if you're an author or you are a blogger or you speak to people or you just, give advice and sit with people, or you're a counselor, if you have any of those things, or through your actions, you have the ability to do so much and to heal and help other people heal their worth because of what you've gone through. So I love this for you because you're really coming to this place in your life where you're going to be able to express that because you got skills. And it says it's time to learn some new skills, study a course, or start a new hobby. So really, yeah, this definitely is with this too. You have, if you feel there's an area you wanted to study or you wanted to find out more about or evolve it, or, like the Eight of Pentacles, take it to another level, boom, boom, boom. That's a yay, yay, yay. And then you have time. The universe is helping you look for synchronistic events around you. So yeah, I really feel like this is that tower that's going on here. The things are being moved out of your life and things are being brought in. And so pay attention because they are wanting to move you from this place where you feel worthy to connect to the higher realms, to connect to your higher self and all of those beautiful beings of unconditional love and light. And they are giving you signs all over the place. Yeah. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Let that sink in. Be proud of who you are, where you've been, and where you're going. I almost want to cry. I feel this. You've needed to hear that. You've needed to hear that the Creator of all things, the Spirit of this world, your guardian angel, your angels, your spirit guides, loved ones who have lived here and have gone to the other side, especially if it's a parent or a grandparent that you looked up to, your ancestors, so many more beings are proud of who you are, what you've done, and definitely of where you're going, because they are outside of time and they see everything that you're going to accomplish, all the people that you are going to impact with this beautiful love and confidence that's going to be coming out. So, and I am proud of you too, because I can feel the struggle. I can feel the battles that you've gone through, and you should be proud of yourself. And that is very, very lovely. This is going to be an exciting freaking equinox for you. I love it. Well, I'm going to leave the reading there. I do want to let you know, in addition to these readings, I also offer monthly readings for each zodiac sign, weekly energy updates for each of the elements like fire signs, water signs, etc. Also, like new moon and full moon and a few other types of videos. So if you don't want to miss out on any of those and get notified immediately when they become available, if you give this video a little thumbs up and click the like button, also click the subscribe button, and that gives you access to this notification bell. And when you go in there, you just select all, and then you'll get notification of any new videos that come out for this channel. Also, doing those things helps spread the love, because when you like a video, you share a video, you comment on a video, or subscribe to someone's channel, it makes the YouTube algorithm so excited it wants to share the videos with other people as well. So if you feel inspired to do any of that, I am definitely grateful for that. Also, these are general readings. If you want even more specific information for your life, I do offer personal readings, and all that information is in the description box below. All right, all my beautiful Scorpios, my transformative, amazing Scorpios, just know as you're going throughout each and every second of every day of your life that you are unconditionally loved by the Creator of all things. And of course, I love you too. Have an amazing equinox. I'm sure I'll be talking to you very soon, but until then, you take care. All right, my Scorpio, if you chose reading number 2, which is the seedling that grows into this fruitful tree, then this is the reading for you. And we're going to start off by pulling a card from the Into the Lonely Woods deck. And this is going to represent one half of the scale on what is balancing out for you over these next 3 months. Just one more time here. All right. So for our Scorpios, that shows reading number 2. Okay, I do want that one right there. Do you have the To Watch Over You, card number 8? It's that little owl in the branch there, watching over you, which is wonderful. We're going to put that right here. And let's just read from the little book. It says, "You are seen, beautiful soul. Your isolation sometimes leads you to feel as though your existence will go unobserved. You are not invisible. You are seen and loved, even in those moments of absolute aloneness. The eyes of the spirit world watch over you more closely now than ever before. These beings who dwell within all the elements, in every tree, in every breeze, within the deep and good earth, see you and wish to guide you. They are here to help you with what you need to know. Learn to trust the messages that are coming through for you, and know you are not losing what we call the mind. You are deepening your relationship with the true nature of this beautiful world. The owl knows your name and is calling you home." Beautiful. I love that. So definitely, it's the spirit world wants to talk to you for sure and have this relationship with you. So I love that. And then for the other side of the scale, we're going to pull from this Earth Magic Oracle card and see what is balancing out with this during this equinox for you. And one more time. All right, so Scorpios, okay. Oh, really? Okay. My goodness. Evidently, there's a lot balancing that out. That's a huge thing there. So you've got unfoldment, the lotus flower. You also have winter solstice reflection. So I'm going to kind of put these in order like this. And then you have the forest, breathe. So this is great because you are the seedling that's turning into the trees, right? So beautiful, beautiful cards here. And I really feel, and they don't even want me to read from the book on any of these, because what they're saying here is, so the solstices, of course, can be for the equinox, right? And so you've been going through this reflection period coming into this equinox. Either if you were in the northern hemisphere, you're coming out of winter, going into spring, or you were, of course, in summer going, summer coming into the fall equinox, right, in the southern hemisphere. So you've been going through this reflective period of time during the solstices. And this is what's bringing you to this place, because this lotus flower, the lotus flower is really an amazing flower, because it grows in the soot and the mud at the bottom of like the ponds and the, still little lakes and stuff. And it, grows its way up to the surface. And I didn't know this until I came across this card and read this card, because the stem goes above the surface of the water, and then the flower blooms during the day. At night, it closes up and goes back down underneath the water to absorb and process all of the nutrients and everything it gained during the daytime. And so that's what this reflection and this unfoldment has been happening for you, is because when you went into the solstices, even the summer and the winter, you went through this, it's like, I feel like this withdrawal to be able to understand and reflect and get your nutrients to take you to this next place. And you have this, breath here, and it's like the breather that you had during this time, getting everything away from the noise and everything else that's taking you into this loneliness, or the aloneness it talked about. So this alone piece that was taking you out has been to get the opportunity for you to be in silence, to change your vibration from such a low vibration that's so chaotic, from the chaotic world that's been going on forever, and allowing you to raise your vibration to the frequency at which Spirit speaks, which is of unconditional love and joy and peace and laughter. And this has allowed you, and it is telling you this message of that there are seasons, there are processes, like a forest. Humans and animals breathe out carbon dioxide, which feeds the plants, which then they breathe out in their own little way oxygen. And so there is this process, the synthesis that happens, these seasons that happen for a reason. There's the natural order of day and night on things that happen. And you're coming into these days, you're coming into the spring and fall equinoxes for this, and this is where you're coming to life. There's change that's happening in your life. So I love this. And then we are going to, of course, dig more into this. We're going to pull from the Black Tarot, and these are going to represent messages from your shadow. Your shadow is a companion of yours. It's a part of you, and it is so connected to this game of life. It's like the game master. It's because it's the tour guide that takes us on this beautiful journey through this amusement park of fear rides. It knows all the stuff that's behind the scenes and under the surface, right? We experience this, what they want us to see, and to take us through the entertainment, the amusement of this world, right? This adventure, this journey. But our shadow has an understanding of all this that's running underneath the surface and behind the scenes. And they are going to bring you information and truths that they want you to know for during these equinox periods for you. So just one more time here. All right, so for our Scorpios that chose reading number 2, what do you want them to know, Shadow? Okay, you want to know all these? Okay, there are 4 here. They said, that's what I want to say. So we will go this route. So we're going to just get these separated here. And we'll start with this one. And you've got the 9 of Cups. So the cups are your emotions, and the 9 is really about this overflowingness. And what I love about this is because what's underneath the surface, what's driving this movement to this, place where you'll reach out and reach up to those beautiful beings on the other side, is this beautiful sun here, this beautiful light. This is the unconditional love of what all of us are made out of, because the true us, this human character we're playing, that is not the true us. That's just a character, an avatar for our experience here. But the actor behind the character of us is a powerful, supernatural, eternal spirit being made of unconditional love, and that's it. And it's bringing you this joy. That's what is flooding into you, is this nudge in your heart to feel something more. It's like this emptiness in our heart where the things of the physical world leave us feeling empty. But the 9s are, the Hermit is the number 9 in the major arcana, and the Hermit is all about the internal journey, finding the wisdom from within and finding that source from within. And so this 9 of Cups is about you turning inward to find this emotional fulfillment that you haven't been able to have by looking on outside of you. So this is like one of the energies that's nudging you underneath towards this direction over here. And then you have the moon. The phases of the moon, of course, but the moon energy is, it's Mother Luna. It's nurturing. It is the connection to the higher realms. It is the reflection of the upper realms. And so this really is also about connecting. And here's that huge full moon here. So you are being guided and drawn by that energy. Also, I'm kind of feeling like the lunar cycles, of course, are impacting you. And that makes sense, Scorpio, with you being a water sign. You are very much influenced by the moon like the tides are, but water signs are more so impacted in people that have a lot of water in their chart than others, because you are so in tune with that emotional energy that comes with that. So, you might find yourself never really not being impacted by the moon. Like a full moon, you go, and then you start to come off the full moon, and the new moon comes in, whoop, and so you're kind of going zip, 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 always. You're never going up and down and up and down. You just are always up with this emotional energy. And then you have the Judgment card, which is so perfect too, because the Judgment card is all about, usually they'll have like people in coffins that are rising from the dead, and then they have an angel that's waking it up, and it's all the card about discovering the two of you, like I just talked about, the human and the actor behind that character, because it's 20. It's XX here, which is double endings, double new beginnings, but it also adds up to 2. 2 plus 0 is 2, which is the two of you. And with all of this that's happening here, I just really feel a nudge to let you know I have a free video series that they had me start at the beginning of the year, which is called You Times 2, and it's all about learning about the two of you that are living this human experience, your human side, and that powerful supernatural part of yourself. So I will have it in the description box below, the link to the playlist, and I'll have it at the end of the video too, so you can click on it and just go to it if you want. But this is definitely this calling to the upward places is a very obvious message here. Yeah, because then you have the High Priestess. Holy moly. Yeah, see the full moon? The High Priestess is all about connecting to the higher realms. She's the one that goes to her temple away from all the noise, like we talked about, and connects with that beautiful moon energy into the unknown, to the subconscious, to the spirit world. So yeah, you definitely have this very, very strong, large call to connect to the spirit world. no doubt in my mind at all. And we're actually going to hear from the spirit world now. This is their message to you from the Creator, Spirit, your guardian angels, spirit guides, your loved ones who are on the other side, your ancestors, that whole slew of beings of unconditional love and light. This is what they want you to know about this equinox period for you. Crazy. Just crazy. At least it's a very, very clear message, right? There's no doubt about it in this one. All right, there we go. Okay, that's the first one here. Let's get the 9 of Pentacles already, which we talked about the 9s, right? That it's all about the internal search. Any others? No, not those. And last pass, just to make sure. I felt like there was going to be... Okay, I guess there are some more. So we'll put these up here, and we'll start with these down here. So the 9 of Pentacles, the Pentacles are your outside world, and the 9 of Pentacles represents like this inner search we talked about with the 9 of Cups. So it's feeling your wholeness and your completeness from within, not from without. So again, this inner hermit kind of message that's coming through over here. Yeah, I had a feeling this would come up too, because the Strength card, this is the poster child card of the whole U times 2 series, because it is all about, normally they have a maiden on the card, which is represented here by this infinity symbol, your eternal self and your human self. And it is all this, the whole story is the message. In fact, I have one of the videos is almost about that card, which is the number 8. So there is this very strong, cohesive message about you combining together, having this lion self of yours that came down here and was told to search outside of itself, for what would make it feel whole and complete in relationships of all kinds, of situations and circumstances like jobs and education and stuff, and in possessions and bank accounts in your body, to still feel hungry and thirsty after consuming all that. And then your higher self comes down, because what your lower self, like we were talking about, is hungry for is the unconditional love of the other realm. And our higher self and all those beings on the other side are able to bring us what we've been hungering and thirsting for so much. So there is, I would just really, the videos are only like between 10 to 20 minutes. And there's one a week. So I would really encourage you to listen to that U times 2 video series, because it's like about everything we're talking about here and in more detail. Yeah, because then you have the Temperance card, which is card number 11. Yeah, 11 up there. Or no, this is card number 14. But but this is about this balancing between the two, this balancing act here between your lower self and your higher self. And so this is reiterating that over and over and over and over again. And then you have the 5 of Pentacles. So the 5 of Pentacles, the 5s are all about transformation and changing of beliefs, changing about how you look at things, your perspective of it. Pentacles is your outside world, and it's, for this card, it's about your worth. You can see here, like, when you look outside of yourself, you look at it as you are worth less, because you're constantly having all these small t truths and comparisons and contrasts. It's that retail price of the outside world that is very unstable, because when you define yourself by those things we talked about, relationships and situations and things, you feel unstable, because the people you're in a relationships with, they change or they pass away. Situations never stay the same, and things break down, deteriorate, burn down, or are stolen. So that makes us feel unstable, makes our worth feel unstable. But this 5 of Pentacles, normally you would see like two people on the card, like in the standard tarot. They're like, one person has like a crutch and they have like a broken foot, and the other person's barefoot and they're in rags, and it's winter. It's like the winter solstice. There's snow all around them, and behind them there's this stained glass window with the 5 pentacles in it. And you start off with this feeling of worth, of being that you feel like you've been abandoned. You feel like you are left out in the cold, like no one is helping me, everyone hates me. And the 5 pentacles that are in the stainless glass window represent the universe, represents the creator and the spirit world. And it tells us that when we're looking for the outside world to define us, our worth, and that or bringing our sustenance and bring us what we need, we're going to feel disappointed. We're going to feel abandoned, because everyone's going through their own little human experience, and all they're looking at is themselves. The human is very absorbed with itself. But when we realize and we go through this transformation that everything that we need comes from above, it comes from the creator who has endless resources, and that people, when they bring us things, they're just the shipping company that are bringing it to us. They're the, FedEx and UPS and the post office. They're just delivering it to us, but who is bringing it to us is the source. And so our whole attitude about our worth and our sustenance changes with that information. And so I love that they're bringing in this with the 2. Because you have the Wheel of Fortune, card number 10, endings and new beginnings, but the Wheel of Fortune does have this amazing story behind it, because it basically says before you came down here, your higher self chose when it was going to enter this game and when it was going to leave this game, what little avatar was going to represent it, which is your human side, is what your higher self chose, what character that they wanted to portray here on this planet, and all these fated events that they wanted to experience to more further understand themselves by experiencing the opposites of who they are. And it's beautiful because, one, with that, you realize, okay, so my life is not this out of control drama train that's about to jump the tracks and blow up in a gorge. It's actually a very, a bullet train that's, attached to the track that it can't fly off. And so it's a very well planned out and structured life. Everything that comes into my life is happening for me, it's not happening to me. So we transform from this place of feeling like a victim to feeling like a victor. And within each of those fated events, though, because if everything was fated, you're like, why even come if everything's just fated? Why do we even care? But within each of those fated events, we still have our power of choice, this balance. We still get to choose what story we apply to every situation and what emotion we want to feel in any situation. So we still have that power of the adventure within our hands, and that's where transformations can happen, because the story, like in this case, the story we had about our worth was this story. You get new information and you have the power to go, now I'm going to think about my worth this way instead. And so it's beautiful, unfolding of that. And then you have the 6 of Cups. Cups are your emotions, like we talked about here, and the 6 of Cups is this transformation that happens, this movement of your emotions from old ways of thinking about your emotions to new ways of thinking about your emotions. So as these truths come in for you, these higher truths, especially when you realize how loved you are and that every moment is either of conditional love and fear of losing conditional love, or of unconditional love. When you look back at past memories, it's kind of called like the nostalgia card. You look back at old memories, when you realize that in that moment, whatever you were feeling or what other people were, whatever their actions or words or whatever were, whatever their expressions were either of unconditional love or of fear of losing conditional love. And if you were hurt by it, chances are you look at what the other person was doing was not out of unconditional love, they were out of fear. And when the human side, our little lion, when it goes into fear mode, it instinctually goes into fight or flight, and the blood leaves its brain to either run or to fight like crazy. So we literally go out of our minds when we're in fear. And when you realize that, especially coming from a place of unconditional love, you understand that that other person, what they were doing was not personal. They were just acting crazy because they felt out of control. The little child in them was feeling out of control and unsafe. And they were doing whatever they instinctually thought they needed to do to feel safe, whether it was some sort of abusive action, words, or over controlling or whatever it might be, right? They were trying to feel safe and they were trying to feel in control again. And when you realize that, you start to look at the situation differently. It transforms, right? You start looking at that person differently than you did before. And then you also, of course, maybe more importantly, because you're always with yourself, you start looking at yourself differently as well. I love it. And then, you have the Four of Cups. And the Four of Cups, these are the three cups that you're leaving behind. Relationships of the outside, the circumstances of the outside, the things of the outside, because they bored you and they left you feeling like these are the three cups you're leaving behind and the three cups you're headed toward, right? Because this other cup here is the Ace of Cups, and that is the chalice, that is the Holy Grail, that is what holds the unconditional love of the Creator of all things and of the spirit world. And so that brings us what we're really looking for. Fours are a very solid, stable number. Think of like a table with four large, legs on the table. It's a very strong foundation. So this brings in this solid emotional foundation for you as you connect to this love that they are wanting you to connect with. They're wanting you to feel it and witness it so you can really know who you are. So I love this. This is going to be an amazing 3 months for you. We are almost done. I'm going to also pull your last card or cards from these Whispering Woods, of course, because you're the little seedling that's growing into this beautiful, beautiful tree, which this is a huge tree here. Totally space that out. But this is just going to be your final messages from the Creator, what they want you to know, Scorpios, that chose the seedling to the fruitful tree for this equinox period. So what's your final message for them, please? Okay, so you get 3. Any others? Okay, and that one. Yep, and they said that's it. They actually want me to start with this one. Yep, you're grounded. And it says, keep to your roots and stand taller than the trees. So definitely getting down to the root of who you really are. And I kind of want to put this like right here in the middle. It's like remembering who you really are is what grounds you and brings the solid foundation in the physical world for you. Yeah, it's an ugly word, I know. But patience. Everything can be accomplished at nature's pace. And I kind of talked about that over here. I'm going to put this one over here because this is the knowing that the outside world does have its seasons. It has its processes of, like day and night, how things impact differently. It has its systems of breathing, plants breathing so that humans can breathe, so that plants can breathe. There's the process of everything. There is nature's pace. The outside world moves a little slower than our inside world. So all the inner work you're going in happens fast, 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 fast. But it takes time for the outside world to catch up for it because you change from the inside out, not the outside in. So just be aware of that. And then you have growth. Yeah, the seedling to the fruitful tree, huh? And it says the tallest oak tree once started as a seedling. Oh my gosh. Don't be afraid to start something new. Yeah. So that's exactly what this is about, right? You who chose the seedling to the fruit tree. So I love that. Yeah, and then you have clearing. This is make room for growth. Make room for growth. So you definitely are going through this process, and I love how just everything is unfolding so perfectly for you during this 3 months. everything that you've been going through. This is the culmination. This is what you've been searching for. And you have this calling from them on the other side, from the Creator, from Spirit, from your guardian angel, to all your angels, to your spirit guides, to your loved ones on the other side, to your ancestors, to your higher self, that higher being that you are on the other side. They want you to connect with them and raise your vibration to listen to them. Step away like the high priestess. Away from, it doesn't mean you have to become a monk and, ostracize yourself from all things, but it is definitely making sure you're taking time away from all the noise, all the chaos, all the things that are pulling you out into fear, and purposely raise your vibration to that of unconditional love and joy and peace and laughter, so you can hear the frequency. And they say call them, because like they say in this U times 2 video, I think it was a couple ago, that they said, give us a call, we'll pick it up on the first ring. So they are dying to talk to you and to speak with you and to commune with you. So I love this for you, Scorpios. I'm going to leave the reading there. I do want to let you know, in addition to these readings, I also put out monthly readings for each zodiac sign, weekly energy updates for each of the elements like fire signs, water signs, etc., new moon and full moon readings, and a variety of others. So if you don't want to miss out on any of those and get notified immediately when they become available, if you give this video a little thumbs up and click the like button, also click the subscribe button, that'll give you access to this notification bell. And when you go in there, you can select all, and then you'll be notified of any new videos that come out on this channel. Also, doing any of those things helps spread the love, because when you like a video, share a video, comment on a video, or subscribe to a channel, it makes the YouTube algorithm so happy it wants to share those videos with other people as well. So if you feel inspired to do any of that, I am grateful for that. Also, these are general readings. If you want an even more specific reading for your specific life, I do offer personal readings, and all that information is in the description box below. All right, all of my beautiful Scorpios, as you're going through this amazing, amazing journey, please know that every second of every day of your life that you are unconditionally loved by the Creator of all things. And of course, I love you too. Have an amazing equinox. I'm sure I'll be talking to you very soon, but until then, you take care. Right, all you Scorpios, if you chose reading number 3, which is the baby that grows to the adult, the calf or the fawn that grows into the powerful stag, then this is the reading for you. And we're going to start off by pulling a card here from the Into the Lonely Woods deck. This is going to represent 1/2 of the scale that's being balanced out during this equinox period for you. So one more time here. There we go. All right, so for all of our Scorpios that chose reading number 3, what would you like them to know, please? Okay, that's the one. And you have, there are others like you. And that is a good thing. No, really it is. That's card number 9. That was just a little joke. And so number 9 here, it says, others like you are experiencing an awakening. The truth you are awakening to is the changing nature of your being, the way we have life within life within life. It seems as if you are the only one experiencing such a profound rebirth, and this can lead you to feel bleak, believing that there is no one else who has experienced quite what you have. And this is true. Your experience is unique and profound, but it is a theme that the other souls are gently seeing the possibilities of their own freedom. They walk their own path, shunning the loud voices of the human world that shout their empty words into numb ears and blank minds. There are others like you. You are not alone in the rebirthing of the inner and outer worlds. I love it. Yeah, number 9 too is the Hermit card in the Major Arcana. So it is this rebirthing, this inner little journey that you're on. And it makes sense. I mean, really, Scorpios, you are transformational beings. You're the transformational signs of the zodiac. You move from the scorpion to the snake to the eagle to the phoenix. So you are so driven for transformation. I'm not surprised of this at all. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if that was a phoenix, but I think that's a different bird. But we're going to see here what's on the other side of this scale here through these Earth Magic Oracle cards. Just see what is going to be balancing all of this, or what that is balancing with this search here. All right, so for our Scorpios that chose reading number 3, what's on the other side of the scale? Okay, they just put that to the one there. And you've got, grounding tree. And we're going to put that right here. And I love all the purples on this. And let's see what message comes for this one for you. Yeah, consider how trees, the standing ones, the capital S standing, capital O ones, exemplify balance between heaven and earth. Their branches reach out and up as if in praise of the bounty that Sky Father has to offer. Their leaves breathe in carbon dioxide and breathe out oxygen, a vital process for so many beings on this planet, including us humans. Their trunks and roots have planted themselves firmly in the soil, allowing them to receive the gifts of another kind of nourishment from Earth Mother. In turn, they freely and gratefully give back by accommodating the needs of so many beings with what they have to offer. In this image, we see a magnificent tree situated in a meadow at the edge of a pond, greeting the early rays of light from the dawn. We see its reflection in the still water, but do not see its roots as they are embedded in the depths of the moist, fertile body of Earth Mother. The strength of these roots supports the tree's innate desire to grow to the light, to reach not only upward, but outward as well. Perfect. Yep, this makes total sense with this balancing. Because a tree, it's like the as above, so below. You know, you can see we can see on the card the roots down here and the branches. And this is the whole journey, the balancing that's happening here, because it's kind of like this. These are the roots on this side. This is the connection to the earthly plane. Because if a tree has, like this is reaching toward the heavens, which this is talking about here, about this rebirth and connecting to the spirit world, right? So if all the tree had was that and didn't have roots, it would go the next time a little breeze blew, because it doesn't have the foundation holding it there. Also, if all you had was roots, you wouldn't have any of this benefit of all the fruit above the ground and the shelter it provides animals and the oxygen that it releases out and, takes all that stuff in. So it is very important to have this balance between the earth and the heavens, which is kind of saying, you don't want to be so heavenly minded you're no earthly good, and so earthly connected that you have no growth either. So this grounding is a very important part of that. We are going to definitely dig in more here. We're going to start off with the Black Tarot, which are going to represent messages from your shadow. And this is your shadow is a part of yourself. It's like your tour guide in this amusement park of fear rides on this human adventure. And because they're the tour guide, they know, like a tour guide at Disneyland, they would know, or Disney World, they know the workings behind the scenes. They see everything. They know all that's going on, that's bringing this adventure for you. So this is your conscious world here that you're aware of. But your shadow is aware of all the unconscious, the things below the surface and behind the scenes. So these are going to be messages that they want you to know, truths and information they want to bring to you for this Equinox 3-month period. So for our Scorpios that chose reading number 3, what messages do you have for them? Okay, you do have that, and you do have that, and any others. And that one. Nope, they said just those 3. So we shall go with these, and we will start with this one here. And you've got the Ace of Wands. So in the darkness of the world, here is this bright inspiration. Wands is your drive, your ambition, your aha inspiration, your passion. It's also your spiritual energy and your energy. And so this spiritual energy, the spark of who you are, is really what's underneath this, driving you to this heavens. It's driving you to connect to the higher realms here. So yeah, it definitely is there. Yeah, and you have the Emperor. So a very powerful card. The Emperor, 4s are very solid foundations, and the Emperor is about control. There's 2 sides of the Emperor. One, of course, is the loving Emperor side, is it's wanting to do things that help the kingdom be successful, helps the kingdom grow, and everyone get along and have this loving place, because that makes the loving Emperor happy. The flip side of that is when the human nature gets involved, which the human side of us, that's ruled by fight or flight, and it has all these, like the amusement park of fear, right? All these fear rides that ignite it. When the little child inside of us, that little human part of us inside of us, feels unsafe or scared, it reacts. It goes into fight or flight mode, and it does everything that it feels it needs to do out of its mind, because when we go into the human side, goes into fear, the blood rushes from its brain to its legs and to its arms to fight or run like heck, or both. And so it's not thinking very clearly, because our body doesn't want us to think clearly or think at all, really, when we're in danger, because if we're standing there thinking if we should run from that saber-toothed tiger, or, back in the dinosaur days, a Tyrannosaurus Rex, we get eaten while we're standing there thinking. So this loving Emperor, if it goes into that mode, it transforms into a tyrant, into a dictator, someone that's trying to control everything else. And so there's this little duality that it's bringing in here for us, to understanding the difference between the two, and this transformation that happens with that when you move from the human world of conditional love, the fear of losing conditional love, to the spiritual realm, which is of unconditional love. And then you have the star. Yeah. So if I didn't catch it in here, we cut it on here. You are the star. The star is the Aquarian card. It brings hope, but it is about recognizing this higher being that you really are, because the Aquarian energy, they're the water bearers, and that big water, jug they carry is filled with the living waters, the unconditional love of the Creator. And so this is that transformative, beautiful energy that is all driving this movement into this spiritual part of your life. We are, of course, going to dig deeper, even more, and these are the Naked Heart Tarot, and these are going to be messages from the heavenly realms, from the Creator and Spirit, and all that posse of beings of unconditional love and light. So we're just going to give these a shuffle and see what messages they have for you for this equinox. One more time. All right. So for our Scorpios, that shows reading number 3. Okay, you do have these 2. Okay, actually, they keep telling me these are for this over here, so I will listen, because they get louder when I don't listen. They're like, we said these are for over here. Okay, you got these 2. And these 2. Okay, so you get 2 cards for each one of those. Anything else? Is there anything for that one? They're like, no. Because we still have these cards to pull. So we will do that. Oh, wow, how weird. So we're going to pull these. I usually wait till the end, but they're saying pull that now. So they're being a little inventive here for you. These are the Aboriginal Dreaming Totems. These are normally the final message for you, but they say, no, this one is part of this message for you. So they want those on either side. So there we go. And maybe we will pull some at the end too, but here we go. Okay, so they want me to start over here. Actually, they want me to start over here. Okay, so you've got the Heart of Swords, which swords are your thoughts, your beliefs, your mindsets, your mentalities, and you have the Six of Cups. Cups are your emotions. So the Heart of Swords would be like the Queen of Swords and the regular tarot. And you can see here too, oops, right there. Right there is the Libra symbol of balancing. And the Queen of Swords, she brings this wonderful energy in because she's air energy, but all the queens are also water energy, which is heart and mind. So she's really bringing in this emphasis of this energy of the balance between heart and mind, between the two worlds. So they really are bringing in this balancing message here for you, that this is an important piece of your journey, is to balance those. Because the Six of Cups is called the nostalgia card. This would be your emotions, the heart, and they're like, because of this awareness that you connect to with your higher self, it allows you to go in and convert or transform your old memories and your old emotions into something new. The sixes are very much about movement. So your emotions are going through this movement with this balance between your mind and your heart. And how that happens is when you're aware that every moment is of either, like we talked about, the fear of losing conditional love and or unconditional love. When you go back to look at a memory, especially if it's a painful memory, you can look at, okay, was I reacting out of fear of losing conditional love, or was I acting out of unconditional love? Well, if we were hurt, we were acting out of fear, because when you're in unconditional love, you can't be hurt. But when you're in the conditional world of fear, we fear being hurt, and that's the pricking of our heart when we go into fear mode is what that pain is. We also look at the other person's actions or words or whatever, and like, were they of unconditional love or of the fear of losing conditional love? And we're like, well, if their words were causing these emotions in us, usually it's not of unconditional love. It would have also been of the fear of losing conditional love. And then as you go back and look at that, and you realize, like you talked about, that when we go into fear, we act out of our minds. We'll see why we reacted the way we did, but we also understand more of what that other person was going through, that they went from a loving emperor to that dictator, that tyrant, right? And they're like, oh my God, they were trying to control my life, either through abuse or through, words and their actions. They were just acting cray-cray. They were out of their minds, and they were, because they were in fear. And as we go back and look at those memories, we really understand that what was going on in that situation more. And so we start looking at this situation differently, and we start looking at them differently, and we start looking at ourselves differently as well. So I love that. And then they want me to jump over here to the other side of the balancing here, and you have persuasion. And that says it's all about how you see this situation. If you're looking for negatives, you will find them because there are many. But try concentrating on the positives. There are plenty of them too. So whatever we want to see is what we see, right? I love that. Conditional or unconditional. And then you have decisions. Persuasion and decisions. It's your decision whether you keep this up or let it go, but continuing will not change the circumstance or the outcome. So repeating the same thing in your life isn't going to get you anything differently. So understanding that you have the power of choice in whatever situation comes your way, you can choose what the story is that you put to the situation. You get to choose what emotion you're going to feel in any situation. You are you have this ability to be a loving emperor or the dictator tyrant. The dictator tyrants, they usually get stabbed in the back, like Caesar. So just, it's not worth it in the end. Unconditional love, which brings unconditional love into you, and peace and joy and laughter definitely has its benefits. All right. And then we're going to go to these right here, and these two together. Yeah. So you've got Sky Father, which is the Emperor, the number 4. They just call it Sky Father in here. And you've got the Wheel of Fortune, which is the number 10, which is endings and new beginnings. So you are definitely going through this process here. And the message of these two cards together basically tells you that everything that's happened in your life has happened on purpose, for a purpose. Before you came down here, your higher self chose when you were going to arrive and when you're going to leave. It chose the avatar, you, of who was going to represent it and how they were going to experience life, to who they were going to experience life through, which is your character. You are the character. You are also the actor behind the character, but the character was chosen. And it chose all these fated events that it wants to experience in life in order to more fully understand itself by experiencing what it's not. The unconditional understands itself more clearly when it experiences the conditional, right? The black and the white, the dark and the light, in this card. If everything was all dark or all light on here, you wouldn't see anything, because it'd all just be all dark or all light. But because because you have the two of them, you see more detail. You understand the beauty of what's really there. And it brings you this wonderful awareness, like we talked about with decisions, that within every second, within every moment, you get to decide what it means about you, whatever story you're going to apply to it, and what emotions you're going to choose. So that's what this Wheel of Fortune brings to you as well. So I love those two together. I'll put that right here. Actually, I want to move these. They're like, yes, let's move, because you have Sky Father above the Emperor. Then you have the Sage and the Spirit of Wands. The Sage would be the Hierophant in the regular tarot, which is all about a spiritual leader. And that's funny, you'll know that why in a moment. And then you have Spirit of Wands, which would be the King of Wands in the standard tarot. Wands are your spiritual energy, like we talked about this Ace of Wands right here. And the King of Wands is the highest spiritual energy that you can have, which is your higher self. It's the spiritual world. The Sage is the Hierophant. It's the spiritual leader. So this is all about your spiritual transformation. And I'm going to put them like this, because the Sage, the Hierophant, is basically the same story as the Emperor, except it has to do with spirituality, where you have a spiritual leader who has a congregation or followers, and when it's the loving side of that, they are only concerned about the rules that will help bring everyone together, because they know that when we bring everyone together, that we can do so much to spread love into the world. That's what the loving spiritual leader does. But like the Emperor with that little child gets feeling unsafe inside and it feels out of control, it will try to gain more control and try to feel safe again by taking other people's control as well. And so it transforms him from this loving spiritual leader into a cult leader, right? That all they care about is what is good for them at the cost of everyone else. And so there is this transformation that happens with this understanding. Again, you have this choice and this awareness with all of that. This is hilarious. And then you have the Six of Swords, which swords are your thoughts, your beliefs, your mindsets, your attitudes, your expectations. And you have the Five of Pentacles. Pentacles is your outside world. And both of these cards have kind of similar meanings in them, because the Five of Pentacles is about your worth. You can see the diamond here. It is about understanding and this transformation that happens in your awareness around it. So the Pentacles normally has the like these two people walking on it. One person has a crutch, and they're all ragged clothes, and I think they're both barefoot, and they're walking in the snow, and there's like this, snowstorm going on, and then behind them is this huge, stained glass window with the 5 pentacles on it. And it shows there's like, you start off with this belief about your worth, because the 5 of the pentacles is about your worth in the outside world in a way. And the picture that you foresee is like, I feel abandoned. I feel like no one is helping me. I'm out here on my own. I'm out in the cold. I've been abandoned, right? I'm worthless because no one wants to help me. But that stained glass window is about a reminder that represents the universe, the creator, the spirit world, and that they are the ones that bring us everything that we need. They are our sustenance. They have endless resources. They have endless love for us, unconditional love for us. So we're always going to have everything we need in the moment. But it is this transformation that we understand that all that comes from the creator. So when people bring us stuff, they're just the shipping company. They're just the delivering of it. But they're not the ones who are supplying it. It is the creator of all things, right? Well, the 6 of Swords has this movement in it as well, but it's the movement of old ways of thinking to new ways of thinking. So usually there's like this boat, and so there's this movement that's happening where you're letting go of the old ways of thinking and moving to the new ways. It's kind of old ways of thinking, new ways of thinking, the ways of the world, the ways of the heavens. And so that is this balance that's coming in for you, is you knowing and really about decisions that you get to choose what anything means. You get to choose between the earthly way of looking at things or the heavenly way of looking at things. And neither of them is wrong, because like the Wheel of Fortune, it is all about our experience. It's just knowing that you have a choice, that there is a choice. There's not just one way of looking at things. And when you're sick and tired of feeling sick and tired, you don't have to be sick and tired anymore. But you have every right to feel sick and tired when you want. There's no judgment in that. It's an experience, and we came here to experience, and we're always experiencing, so we're always doing exactly what we wanted to, right? So they do want me to see what the final message is here for you from the creator for all our Scorpios. That shows reading number 3. What's your final message? Okay. Any others, or is that it? That is it. So drum roll, your final message. Amazement. Be amazed. You have worked hard to get everything just the way it is right now. Trust and enjoy this moment. Everything is as it should be. So yeah, right here on the Wheel of Fortune, everything is unfolding perfectly. And you know when you're ready to let an old way of things go, because you choose to look at things differently. You know that you're done with something in your life when it leaves. You're ready for something when it comes into your life. And so it's this beautiful living in the moment. You don't have to fear about the future. That's what I love about the Wheel of Fortune and the decisions, right? When you realize that you're the one that gets to decide what anything means that comes into your life or leaves your life, you are the one that gets to decide how you're going to feel about anything that leaves your life or comes into your life. So we used to fear the future when you feel like you're out of control and that you don't get to choose that. But once you realize that and grasp that, then you don't fear the future as much, because you don't care. Anything that comes, I get to decide what it means. I get to decide how I feel. Amazed. I'm going to leave the reading there. I do want to let you know, in addition to these readings, I also put out monthly readings for each zodiac sign, weekly energy updates for the elements like water signs, fire signs, etc. Also new moon, full moon readings, and a variety of other videos. So if you don't want to miss out on any of those and be notified immediately when they become available, if you give this video a little thumbs up and click this like button, also click the subscribe button. That gives you access to this notification bell. And when you go in there, you can select all, and then you'll be notified of any new videos that come out on this channel. Also, doing those things helps spread the love, because when you like a video or you share a video or you comment on a video or subscribe to a channel, it makes the YouTube algorithm so happy it wants to share that videos with other people as well. So if you feel inspired to do any of those things, I of course greatly appreciate it. Also, these are general readings. If you want even more specific readings for your specific life, I do offer personal readings, and the information is in the description box below. All right, my Scorpios. Wow, as you go through this amazing equinox and every second of every day of your life, please know that you are unconditionally loved by the Creator of all things. And of course, I love you too. Have an amazing equinox. I'm sure I'll be talking to you very soon, but until then, you take care.